Training hard doesn't mean flopping around and ego lifting heavy weight. I'll show you some examples in this video of me training relatively hard. And no, I don't think I am the hardest training guy out there. I will admit there are guys who train harder than me, absolutely. I know some. But, when guys say, well, I'm training hard and I'm not seeing results, and then you watch them training, there's a difference, right? Their idea of training hard is, are they cheating on a couple reps? Are they kind of flopping around? But, they're not staying tight. Everything is loose. They're not thinking about getting, stretches at the bottom of movements at all. And for example, just watch kind of what I do here. Now, this is actually my range of motion on chins, just for the record. Notice my scapula come apart at the bottom. But again, watch this set. The last rep, the 9th rep, I was training to get it. Notice I was shaking a little. I slowed way down and I was really struggling to get up on that rep. Okay, that's an example of training hard. But I didn't swing, I didn't cheat or any of that to get there. Okay, watch this with the deadlifts. So again, training hard on a deadlift, for your rep work. I'm not talking about maxes because this ended up being a 7-rep set. And I didn't know how many reps I was going to get on this. I put 500 on the bar after I got done squatting. And I was like, okay, let's see what we can do here. And I managed to squeeze out 7 reps. But notice I'm trying to lock the reps. Notice every rep we wedge in tight again. Right? We pull the slack out of the bar. We get tight, not hitching it or ramping it up my thigh. Right? Not laying back doing silly stuff to cheat the weight up. Occasionally when you're doing heavy like that, you'll notice that last rep there, I didn't fully lock it. I felt like I did, but on camera I clearly didn't. But right there you saw that. That rep was starting to give out. Notice my knees were starting to shake. We're starting to break down a little. And then this last rep, struggle to get it locked back. It's when you know you're done. Okay? Bar slows, you see the technique start to break. And when technique breaks, it's not because you are cheating. It's technique is breaking because you simply are running out of strength. The upper threshold muscle fibers are done. They're done. And when they're done, that's it. The form is going to degrade because the weakest muscle in the link, on a big movement like that, the weakest muscle is going to start giving out because the muscle fibers have failed. They can no longer maximally contract. They are finished. So you're going to try to compensate a little bit. So technique will degrade. It could be some forward lean on your squat. It could be the bar drifting different on the bench. So same thing. You see these extensions here. I'm doing these as a full range of motion lying extension. Stopped for a second. I felt like I could get one more rep. I re-racked it, got in tight, did one more rep, and then locked it out. Right? Because I knew that I couldn't get another rep fresh. Like I knew I was done. I'm like, okay, I just want to finish the set and make sure it's a quality set. And I'm not saying you need to be doing a rest pause like that on every set. I don't think you should, to be fair. But that was my last set of triceps for the day. That's my very last set. I had already benched first, did my tricep extensions. Same thing here, and this was not the best bench day for me. I was having an off day. All right, so what is training hard here? Notice that this is bodybuilder benching. I'm not powerlifter benching. I've got a flat back, I've got a wide grip, I've got no wrist wraps, so I'm having to keep everything tight. Notice that last rep, even though we paused it, form never broke. Notice I was grinding through the last bit. The bar slowed. I was struggling to get through it. Okay? That is when you know that you're training hard, when the bar starts slowing down. Okay, those are your giveaways. Like hard training is not, oh, I got to pump it burned. Well, no, you should be feeling it. But that was a classic example. This pull-up is another perfect example. Form didn't really degrade, but notice that I'm moving slow. Notice the last rep of the chin-ups, the very last rep, I'm struggling with it. But we don't cheat necessarily to get it. On that bench press, when it rolls through again here in a minute, you'll see it. What happened? That last rep, even though I paused it, everything was clean, it went up real slow. I knew there was a real good chance if I lowered that weight again, it wasn't coming back up. Okay? So that was a 0 rep in reserve set. It's obviously not my best, even with that technique. But for the day, that's what I was capable of doing. I was actually hoping to get more. That's why I used that weight. But this deadlift, I mean, again, you'll notice we got 5 clean reps, right? And then the form starts to break a little bit. The form starts to break. But we don't rush through it. Okay, training hard isn't, oh, I'm all psyched up. I'm going to just rush through the set and bounce the weight off the floor. Right? Getting psyched up is not training hard. It's just getting psyched up, and it's usually making mistakes. This is coming in and just digging in deep and just saying, I'm going to pull until it feels wrong or something shifts incorrectly. Or I just simply miss a rep. And on a deadlift, I'm okay with that. You know, we may miss a rep. When you miss a rep, you miss a rep. On a deadlift, there's no shame in your game there. It's not like you're going to get hurt to just turn loose of a rep. That's the beautiful thing on a deadlift, just like a chin-up or a pull-up, right? You're not going to get stapled under anything. You're not going to get hurt. So if you take it to that limit and you have to just let go, you can do that. It's when you try to grind through a rep you can't do and you lay back and do goofball stuff, that's when guys start getting injured. Start bending their elbows more, they start bouncing it off the floor. Hey, that's training silly, that's not training hard. Right? We should be trying to be fairly strict. And I'm not saying you need to be, a form Nazi. I'm not saying you need to do any of that. Not saying you have to be obsessive about it, but we should be trying to use generally clean form on this stuff if we're training hard. Focus, right? Focus on powerful, explosive, smooth reps. And same thing with the benching here. That's why I'm using this technique. It makes you use way more chest. Yes, I've been able to lift more weight. Power benching with a more narrow grip, wrist wraps and arch, all that stuff. Sure. But this is just coming in saying, okay, I want to really just hammer those muscles. All right? But again, there's always a giveaway. You will slow down. When you're at your final rep that you can really do, usually the bar slows. Sometimes on a big movement, you'll see the form break down a little, like on the deadlifts. But these two are perfect examples of that. You can't visually see so much on the extension other than I felt like that set was done. I felt like I was training hard on that rep, and I racked it, but I didn't want to quit the set because I'm like, man, I don't want to puss out on this set just because it's really burning, just because it felt like I couldn't get more. So let me just rack it, and then that's what I did. I racked it, waited a couple seconds, unracked it, and managed to get that last rep, right? And that's what I mean by training hard. Training hard and ego lifting are two different things. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys next time.